Okay, first of all, I know that the state Wyoming is happy as fuck that anybody is even acknowledging their ass. And second of all, this cover looks very similar to something someone did in 2014. Mountains and reflective shit. I mean, I'm just saying, coincidence? I don't think so. I'm sending an invoice, Kanye. What's going on, everybody? It's the Granddad Woolly, and you are here again for another edition of Woolly Reviews Hip Hop Data. We got an album review today. We're gonna talk about the brand new album that just fucking dropped from an OG in the game. We've been doing it for many, many years. Pretty much a legend at this point, who's been surrounded by controversy pretty much all the damn time, but this time more so than ever. I mean, he been rolling with Trump. He's saying slavery was the choice. He thinks 7 songs equals an album. Nigga, no, that's an EP. You ain't slick, motherfucker. I'ma still listen to this shit anyway. This nigga's back. He dropped some new shit. He in Wyoming for some fucking reason. Who goes to fucking Wyoming? Look at that shit. That shit looks so fucking boring and cold. Why? Nigga, why? Talking about the new album from Kanye West entitled Ye. Not like yay, like yay, or yay, like yay. It's yay, like Y-E, and that's it. I mean, okay, yay. Whatever. Now, we all know who Kanye West is, y'all. I'm not gonna waste my time on that shit, but what this is his 8th studio album. It's the follow-up to The Life of Pablo, which I did not review because I was on hiatus when it dropped, and when I first heard it, it was like, to me, and then he had like 4 different versions of the shit, or 3 or 4, I don't know. He just kept updating the shit, and the final version of it, I sort of liked a lot more than the original incarnation of it, but still, I just wasn't a fan of him changing songs. If you're gonna drop an album, make sure that shit's right and tight from the moment that it hits the light. You know what I'm saying? But now we on that and this is the second of the long, massive albums that Kanye has been working on recently. Pusha T just dropped Daytona, which was a dope-ass album, and this is the second of the 7-song albums. So now let's see if Ye is an album that keeps that momentum and gives us some celebration and shit like Ye, or if sometimes, you know, we wish we were high on some yayo to kind of just take off the edge of this horrible shit that Kanye dropped because he fucking tripping. Let's talk about the shit. Now, when I first popped in this album and I tuned into the production, which I heard from early reviews of the people who I guess went to the Wyoming listening session that they had, people were like, yo, this is like Kanye's most inspired, craziest work production-wise. It's like a mixture of all his albums all put together, and everybody was gassing this shit up. So I was like, holy shit, I can't wait to hear this motherfucking thing. It's about to blow my mind away. And then when I heard it, I was like, it's cool. I mean, the production on here is nowhere near as phenomenal as everybody made it seem. I do get why they said some of the comparisons are to, like, it sounds something like 808s and Twisted Fantasy and College Dropout and Yeezus. He's got all these elements of all the albums that he's done over the years in this 7-song project. I do see that, but there's nothing really ambitious or crazy or out of this world as compared to the other stuff he's done. Like when Twisted Fantasy dropped, that shit was amazing production-wise. Like when Yeezus dropped, even though everybody didn't love it, he went some super experimental shit. And same thing with Pablo. There was even more adventurous and experimental things going on Life of Pablo than on this. So I don't know what the fuck these niggas in Wyoming was listening to. I don't know, maybe in Wyoming, like the air or the water makes you think differently or some shit. That's why I'm not going there. But apparently, like, they thought this shit was amazing. But honestly, it's just pretty much meh overall with the production. It's not horrible, but it's not mind-blowingly crazy. It's, for Kanye standards, it's just pretty decent, pretty good. And I mean, I didn't hate any of the beats on here, but I didn't love it, or I wasn't spazzing out or going crazy. And when it comes to Kanye himself, Kanye has been hit and miss with me when as far as lyrical ability is gone. Kanye can rap when he wants to. He can spit some bars, but there are times where Kanye does have some cringe-worthy lines or some like, oh, Kanye, you really said that? And on here, it's no different. But I will commend one thing for Kanye. The theme of this album is him pretty much tackling and accepting the fact that he's bipolar, and not so much seeing it as a disability, but sort of as an advantage or his quote-unquote superpower. And he's pretty much just saying, okay, I know I'm bipolar. It sucks, but it's also awesome in a way because it makes him who he is, and he kind of just showcases that all over this project with his subject matter, the way that he raps, the way that he just delivers things, and just his thoughts on everything as well. So it's cool that he really makes that the focal point of this. He has no mentions of Trump, no mentions of anything that he was saying in the media and whatnot. I think that was just bait to get everybody to get attention to the album, because when it comes to this project, it's really focused on Kanye's own self-reflection of himself and the people around him based off of what he's been going through with his mental illness and his bipolar. And as somebody who personally knows people who suffer from bipolar disease and everything that goes along with it, I can commend him from wanting to like pretty much step up and just say, yo, I have this, I know I have this, and I'm gonna accept it for what it is, and I'm not gonna let that, you know, dictate how people see me or how things go, because it already dictates how he behaves in certain ways. And he kind of says my bipolarness kind of makes me say these erratic and crazy things, and I know they're fucked up. I know sometimes they're a little off there. The people around me like think the same thing, but that's who I am. I'm Kanye, and that's what it is, and I'm just gonna accept that. And I commend him for that, and that's one of the shining moments of this project. But at the same time, lyrically and just like delivery wise, is another meh to mediocre situation. There's no real crazy lines here. I mean, I do like how he kind of like plays with his voice sometimes, and kind of how he just does things on here as well in a bipolar state, like a little different moods and changes. But the content and the lyrical ability here just isn't all the way there on all the tracks. And when it comes to the features on here, they're pretty much all uncredited, but he does have people lend vocal delivery and performances on here as well, whether it's something to help with the background or just a hook or whatever it is. But they just weren't noticed on here, but I'm gonna say who they are. So he's got Kid Cudi on here, Ty Dolla $ign, Party Next Door, Jeremiah, Charlie Wilson, Vali, and 070 Shake or 070 Shake. I'm not sure how you quite say your name, but she's on there as well as additional production credits from Mike Dean, Francis and the Lights, and Shay Pope, I believe. So they all come through, and they really do bring a standard Kanye West project, and they all do come through and do something that kind of accentuate the project itself. But the end result of it all is just not as mind-blowing or amazing for a 7-song project. Like I said with the Pusha album, it has to be no room for error, no errors at all, and it has to be a phenomenal body of work from start to finish, and I just didn't get that. I just got a decent to meh body of work. Like I said, none of these songs on here I think are terrible, but none of these are mind-blowing, and this is nowhere near the best Kanye project I've ever heard. Now, just like the Pusha album, this album is also 7 songs long, clocks in at 23 minutes, so I'm just gonna go through them all real quick and then get my favorite 3, just like I did in the last review. So it starts off with the intro, I Thought About Killing You. And it starts off real interesting because the first half of the track is this real low-key melodic beat where Kanye's pretty much repeating the same phrase over and over again, where he said, I thought about killing you yesterday, premeditated murder, and I love myself way more than I love you, and I've also thought about killing myself, so best believe I thought about killing you. And he's pretty much just reiterating that through the first half of this track, and I'm not sure who he's referring to, but whoever it is, they fucked, because he wants to kill you, and one day he probably gonna snap, and he gonna blame it on the bipolar. But basically, it starts off really kind of like calm and low-key, even though the subject matter that he's talking about really isn't too calm and low-key in a way. He's really calm about what he's saying. But on the second half of the track, the beat changes to this more hostile, crazy, erratic, sporadic beat, and so does Kanye's delivery and vocals, and it kind of shows that this track itself is bipolar, and it's pretty much just him establishing what this album is about, him being bipolar. So it's him just pretty much starting off real calm and then flipping his mood immediately, and that goes with the beat as well. So it's a cool intro. I get the theme of it, I get the concept of it, and overall it's a cool thing. Kanye really didn't wow me on the vocal delivery, but just the concept and everything that went along with just how the track builds up and what it represents, I can appreciate that. So it's a pretty solid track. The next song, Yikes, kind of piggybacks off the intro, and this is where Kanye really pretty much just says, okay, I know I'm bipolar, so I'm gonna accept that and just pretty much say, yo, this is me, this is who I am, and if you don't like it, too bad, because that's who I am. And he pretty much is like saying, yo, me being bipolar is my superpower. This is what I am. I know that it's fucked up. I know I say a whole bunch of fucked up things, but you know what? It is what it is. I'm Kanye, and you might hear me say some things that make you say yikes and like, yo, that's wild, Kanye, what the fuck you doing? But you know, he realizes that that's who he is, and you know, he always ends up learning from it in a way, but also he can't control it because that's just a side of him that he really just can't control. So it's him pretty much just saying, oh, I accept what I have. It may not be the best at all times, but you know, hey, what the fuck I'm gonna do? I'm bipolar, nigga. What the fuck? And then it goes into the song All Mine, which is just cool to me as well. But I do kind of like that hook. I don't know what the fuck he's saying, but I like how he just delivers that shit. It's really cool. And then, but at the same time, he's got some really cringy lines on here as well. Like the beginning of the second verse, he's like, yo, let me fuck raw. Don't worry about the outcome. We wouldn't even be here without come. I mean, like, Kanye, come on. He always be saying shit like this. I'm like, Kanye, come on, you can do better. You can do better than that, bruh. But, like, the beat is cool. It's got this real, like, bombastic, really bass-heavy beat, which is really cool. And I just, like I said, the hook is dope, but it's just like, Kanye just, like, I mean, a lot of cringe on that fucking, them verses, bruh. But, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. He's bipolar. He can't help it, I guess. I'm gonna just blame it on that. The next song, Wouldn't Leave, is the more soulful song on the project than any other one I have to say. And this one centers around Kanye just realizing that he's got to ride or die with Kim Kardashian. Like, all the shit that he's done and said and been through, she didn't leave. Like, and he knew deep down she wouldn't leave, but he was always like saying like, yo, I know I fucked up. I know I've done stuff to kind of fuck up the money and make you look kind of crazy as well. But at the end of the day, I even told you to leave and you wouldn't leave. So he appreciates her being down and just sticking with him through thick and thin, and do death do us part, and for better or for worse, and all that shit that they say in marriage. So she stuck to it, and he's just appreciating it through this song. So I like the sentiment of it. And I mean, you know, I mean, there's some chicks out there that'll hold you down through thick and thin. You need them because these days, you know, they'll leave you in a second for no reason. So you got to make sure that you get a one that locks it down, holds you down, and even when you're going crazy as fuck and saying shit like slavery was a choice, she gonna stand there and be like, that's just him. That's what he's bipolar. She gonna blame it on that too. That's the scapegoat. That's what they're gonna do. But it's a dope song. Like the sentiment. Check it out. It then goes into the song No Mistakes, which is another mess song to me. Really didn't care too much for it, but I think it's a song where Kanye is saying like, yo, no matter what he does, there's really no mistakes. Like, even the mistakes that quote unquote he makes, there really aren't mistakes that he makes, because these are all, I guess, lessons he learns or things that he just does because, you know, he's bipolar. That's what he does. I'm just gonna blame it on everything bipolar. That's the theme. Just blame it on that shit. But it's just a cool song. I really didn't care too much for it, but also I just see that he's continuing this whole theme of just like saying like, yo, everything I'm going through, all the mistakes that I made, quote unquote, are not really mistakes because I'm learning from them in some way, shape, or form, and that's what it is. The next song, Ghost Town, is probably the more impactful song on the entire project sonically. It's also a quick glimpse into what we're gonna get from the Kanye Cudi collab. Get the Kids See Ghosts is what their name, I believe. So it's really cool. The beat on here is really just like crazy. I also got some vibes with the bass line of Two Words from College Dropout. If you listen to it, it kind of sounds similar to that, which is really cool. And it's just this really just like triumphant, like crazy song. Is really singing heavy. It also features 070 Shake or 007 Shake. I'm gonna figure out how to say her name right, but she up on there singing, and she does a great job vocally on there. Does a really good job, and I just really appreciate the song. It's probably one of the better songs on here to me personally. It isn't amazing. It's not like an All of the Lights type of epic thing, but it's the most epic song on here out of all of them. But it's still not like super epic, but it's cool. It's cool for what it is. It then wraps up with the song Violent Crimes, where Kanye is pretty much reflecting that he has a daughter, and he's realizing now all the shit that he did with women, you know, going around sleeping with women, just seeing them as just something to conquer and conquest rather than really nurturing and love them. It's sort of coming back to bite him in the ass because he's realizing now he's got a daughter, Northwest, who's growing up, and he doesn't want her to end up dealing with the same types of niggas that he was or he was around, because he knows what they want. So he's saying stuff like, yo, I hope you don't grow up with your mom's body. I hope you grow up with mine. So, you know, niggas don't want to look at your curves, or that instead of you doing like yoga and Pilates, I want you to like play piano and you know, do kickboxing and shit. Just pretty much do everything that you can to stay away from them niggas because they ain't no good. Kanye knows. He already knows. And I don't have a daughter, but I do have homeboys who have had daughters who were like running around doing their damn thing, and they realized once they had a kid, especially a daughter, the perspective of that really does change you. So I can see where he's coming from that. It's really dope, and it's a good way to end the album, and it's probably one of the better songs. I like Kanye doing this type of stuff. I wish he had more of this on here where he's really more introspective and sort of like real just genuine in a way. Not so cocky and whatnot, which I do like a cocky Kanye here and there, but this is a very genuine song, and it's something that you can relate to. So it's really dope. I like how it ended. Cool song. And that's all 7 tracks, y'all. And honestly, I have to say, out of those 7 tracks, my favorite 3 would have to be, I'd have to say Yikes, and then Violent Crimes, and also Ghost Town. I would give it to those 3. And, you know, I mean, the other songs are close to it, but at the end of the day, this album right here just isn't mind-blowing. I really didn't love this album. It was cool. It wasn't, like, god-awful. It wasn't horrible. But like I said, it's nowhere near the best Kanye album I've ever heard. And for 7 songs, this should have been just, like, the most amazing body of work Kanye's ever put together. It should have been on the same par as Daytona, and it's not. So I don't know. Maybe Kanye's just in a different zone with his project as opposed to other projects. But now I want to know what this next album, The Kids See Ghosts, is going to be like, because so far it started up here with Pusha, and now we kind of dipped a little bit. You shouldn't have been in Wyoming, nigga, because this is what happened when you go to Wyoming. Shit just falls, nigga. What the fuck? So my final verdict, I'm not saying that Kanye Ye is an overall decent to meh album with some okay production that does lend to his prior work, but it really isn't anything mind-blowing. And the same thing with Kanye's vocal delivery isn't mind-blowing either. All I'm saying is that beats are okay, Kanye's delivery is okay, but I will commend him for the general theme of this album, which is him tackling and accepting him being bipolar, and just him just pretty much, you know, taking advantage of that musically and really just showcasing it not only in his content, but the way that his music sounds on the production side. It's really cool to see him just like kind of just turn these sounds into a mood or a mood change, just like he does in his own personal life. And the fact that he talks about things personally with his family, with himself, and just how his behavior has been over of late, it's really good to see him kind of talk about these things and do it in a sort of cohesive way. But the music itself just isn't mind-blowing and amazing, and that's the thing that really just makes it falter for me. So all I gotta say is that for me, Kanye West, Ye, is not Granddad approved, but I will give it a Granddad recommended. So go check it out. It's out right now. It's only 23 minutes, 7 songs. But I mean, you know, Kanye gave us something. It wasn't god-awful, but it just wasn't as amazing or mind-blowing as I wanted it to be. But I got nothing more to say. Kanye West, Ye, is Granddad recommended. So go check out the shit right now. But don't do it in Wyoming. And don't do it if you're bipolar. Or you can. Whatever. Flip it. Alright, y'all, that's gonna do it for today's video. Make sure you give me a thumbs up and drop a comment. Tell me what you think of Kanye West. Yay, if you've heard it. If you have not heard it, check it out. It's a decent meh album. Some people I've heard love this fucking album. I don't know fucking why. And some people are like me. They're just like meh. And some people don't like it. So, I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, it's an album that's gonna give different perspectives and thoughts and moves. But it is an album that Kanye apparently needed to make or wanted to make. So, there it is. So now we see what happens next. Hopefully he don't do nothing else crazy, because like, nigga, you need to chill for a minute. You need to chill and get the fuck out of Wyoming. Previous videos on the side, as well as my latest single. Check that out, show us some love. And as always, Twitter, Facebook, SoundCloud, Instagram. Links in the description below. And subscribe. Button on the screen, button below. Woolly Reviews twice a week, as well as all the good shit. Game with the Granddad. Let's talk about the shit. All the videos and info is below. Check that shit out. And you know what it is. Hit that notification bell so you know when I drop shit. And I got nothing more to say. So until next time I take my leave, Granddaughter, Kanye West, Ye, it's okay, Ye. I'm just gonna say that this wasn't your best day. So get out of Wyoming, because apparently that shit did not go your way. You know what I'm saying? Bars, nigga. Yo, you should have just put me on the album. It would have been way better. That's what it would have been. But hey, too late. Too late. I'm out of here.